Hi, I'm Gabby from Mod Ventures, and today we're going to talk about 5 business books that every boss babe needs to read right now. First book I want to tackle today is a book named Traction, Get a Grip on Your Business by Gino Wickman. This book is pretty amazing because it helps entrepreneurs actually have an operating system, which I think is one of the biggest areas that businesses struggle with when they're trying to scale their company. We are actually working on this right now ourselves. And so I love it. I love the way that it actually splits up the company in 6 different categories. Wait, how many categories? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 categories, and just helps you organize everything in your business. There's a quiz that you can take in the beginning. I mean, who doesn't like a quiz? This has been a great book. The book prior to this is called Rocket Fuel, and that is something that Larissa and I read together and worked out when we were trying to figure out our partnership and what it was supposed to look like and who was going to be responsible for what. So I would highly recommend actually both books, Rocket Fuel and this book Traction, both by the same author, Gino Wickman. The next book that all boss babes must read right now is The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and it was written by Patrick Lencioni, one of those. He is pretty amazing, and he's written a lot of business books on creating trust in your organization. And when we put together our businesses in January, this is one of the first books that I had everybody read because we really wanted everybody to get the foundations of teamwork and work out some of the dysfunctional behavior before we experienced a bunch of more dysfunctional behavior. So highly recommend it if you have a team and you're building trust amongst your team. The next book that all boss babes need to be checking out is the Dare to Lead book by Brené Brown. And I have to say, this is really an amazing book. I've read it like 3 or 4 times, and every time I get something new out of it. But the biggest thing is that you have to be brave in order to be a leader and to do things differently. And I think this talks a lot about, the vulnerability and just coming to work with your feelings and your whole heart. And that is different in the corporate world. And so I think Brené Brown really tackles what it's like to lead. Amazing. Highly recommend it. The next book, Braving the Wilderness, is probably one of my favorites, only because braving is an acronym for the anatomy of trust. And I did a braving video, and we'll post it in the cards above. But the braving video really talks about the anatomy of trust and how to build trust in your organization, which is the foundation of so much that has to happen when you're scaling and working with others in your organization. So it's been one of my favorite books. I've gotten probably the most out of this book than any other of Brené Brown's books. Definitely must read. And the last but not least book, The Founder's Mentality. And let me tell you, this is probably one of the best books that I've read ever on scaling a company. I think the fact that they're talking about there's predictable crisis of growth is pretty amazing, because at the time you're going through scaling your company and the growth mode, you have a hard time believing that there's any kind of predictability. It just feels like chaos. And so knowing that other companies have gone through this scaling, of course, there's so many companies that have grown and become such powerhouses that they've all gone through it. And they've also gone through times where they were struggling with their growth and figuring out how to kind of reset their company for the next season in their business. And so this book has really been a great eye-opener, and as a founder, really helped me see what I need to bring to the table to help my team grow past this season. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Comment down below on a book that you recently read that really impacted your life or your business. I'd love to hear it so that I can get more books to add to my list. Until next time, thanks so much. We'll see you soon. Ciao.